You know how you're browsing the net and you think, I'm not going to buy anything. I'm just looking. Like I am just looking. I'm not going to buy anything. Well, yeah, I told myself that too, but it doesn't quite turn out like that. Like the books, they just keep calling me and calling me, calling. I don't know. They just keep calling me and I have to answer. So let's get into it. I have 15 books that we're going to be talking about today. Let's get into it. My name is Raquel. Welcome and welcome back. The first book is The Reformatory. I have been trying to read this book. I am now on chapter 4. Um, and I don't have to return it anymore, so I can take as long as I like. And then we have King of the Ashes by S.A. Cosby. And he is quickly becoming a auto buy for me. I have now read the majority of his books, at least the popular books, because now I found out that he has some other books with some other people, and I have to read those. Otherwise, I'm gonna feel like I'm missing something. So, yeah, this is about a family who owns a crematorium, and the father has been in an accident, in a car accident, and so one of the siblings, which is the older brother, has to come back home because the father was in an accident. And so they're going to find out that their mother disappearing, I think 19 years ago, might have something to do with his brother. Excuse me. Well, yeah, might have something to do with his brother, but it also may connect to his father's accident. I've already started on this. Me and my husband are reading this, and we just started, so we're only probably like, I don't know, chapter 5 or something like that. And then I have Harlem Shuffle. I did want to read the Nickel Boys, but I tried to watch it on Prime. So in case you didn't know, the Nickel Boys is on Prime, and I did not like it. I couldn't get into it. And so instead of getting the Nickel Boys, I got Harlem Shuffle, and we're going to see how this goes. This is about a man who owns like a furniture store, and he is into some pretty shady things. And I think his wife either doesn't know or doesn't like it. Anyways, I haven't read this yet, but that is what it's about. And then I have Yours to Have, Mine to Love by Evelyn Latrice. I didn't know the book was going to be so small. I know that it is a novella or a short. I call them shorts, but I guess it's really called a novella. Anyway, this was so good to me. I wanted to have it on my shelf, so I bought it. And I fell in love with this book, A Shooter Song. I know you guys are probably tired of me talking about this book, but I had to buy it for myself. And then I just recently read Long Nights by Evelyn Latrice, so I had to get that. And then I got Early Mornings because it is the part 2 to Long Nights. And I have not yet read this, but I mean, it wouldn't make sense to buy one and not buy the other, right? So yeah. And then, oops. And then I got uh Ashley and Jaquavis. And when you say Ashley and Jaquavis, I don't think there's anything else need to be said. No, just kidding. Yeah, I got the series, which is Long Live the Cartel. So I got book 1, book 2, book 3, 4, and 5. So, yeah, because I got those, I went ahead and got Money Devils, which is also by Ashley and Jaquavis. I have no idea what this one is about. So let's just read it really quickly. It says the LaCroix are 4 beautiful Haitian American women bound by money and blood. On the surface, the LaCroix Group is a venture capitalist company, but underneath it's so much more. The 4 sisters run long cons targeting wealthy, prominent business figures. They have a system: find the perfect mark, create the problem, then present the solution for a cost. Suddy LaCroix, the eldest sister and an accomplished business maven, sits on the family throne as the CEO of the LaCroix Group and is the face of the operation. No one is as good as Sutton when it comes to finding new prey. However, when Sutton meets West, a young black oil tycoon, a man who represents a life she and her sisters vowed never to live, she breaks all the rules. The LaCroix sisters have a pact to never settle down and leave roots in one place. But Sutton falls in love with West's good looks, charms, and old money. This means that West is a problem. When he inducts her into a high society of opulence, power, and generational wealth, Sutton finds herself torn between the love of her life and the love of her family. Oh my, tell me that don't sound good. I'm ready to read this now. But yeah, this sounds good. I love the drama of that, or what it sounds like. But Ashley and Jaquavis are, I mean, like, they write some of the best books. I've been reading them for years as well. I haven't read any of their books lately, but oh yeah. So then we have Kiki Swanson's Notorious, which I have definitely read before, but it is very good. I love it. I love heists and jailbreaks. Love them to death. And then we have Kiki Swanson and Denisha Diamond. This one is called A Gangster and a Gentleman, which I've never read this one before either. Um, I don't know what it is, but it sounds like, oh, maybe she's gonna have these 2 relationships. One guy's a gangster and one guy's a gentleman. That's what I'm thinking. I don't really know. Let's take a quick look. Um, oh, okay. Melody Goodman isn't about to let her rich, cheating, ungrateful husband walk out and leave her with nothing. Fortunately, ex-con Scotty Harris has no problem disposing of her problems in exchange for plenty of cold hard cash and hot. Oh, can't say that. But when Scotty crosses the line one time too many, Melody's revenge will be a hustle he never saw coming. All right, girl. I'm ready for that. And then Hood Life by Misha Mink and Denisha Diamond. So Denisha Diamond is the one who wrote this one, A Gangster and a Gentleman. She just wrote it with Kiki Swanson. What is this one about? Yeah, I'm not. A pimp, a killer, a player, a drug dealer struggle to get their game right in a sizzling novel where leaving the life and trying to go straight is a deadly weapon. All right, that sounds good too. And then we have Eric Jerome Dickey, Drive Me Crazy. This one is about, I read this like a really long time ago. This one is, it says an ex-con working for a limousine service, but one of the real incentives is his old flame, his boss, the irresistible. Her name is Lisa. She wants more out of life. She expects the driver to give it to her. Unfortunately, she's counting on the wrong man to kill her husband. Ooh, wow. Sharing an expensive secret and a past with someone like Lisa is nothing but trouble. What driver has planned to help him stay alive? It's more than a scheme. It's a bona fide crime. Sometimes love make you do crazy things. Okay. And then we have Nikki Turner, Black Widow. So I read two books by Nikki Turner. She wrote Project Chick, and there's a part one and a part two. So let me say this. This next book is it is a staple in urban fiction. So if you have not read this book, I don't know if you've actually paid your dues. Because if you have not read this book, what are you doing? The Coldest Winter Ever by Sister Soldier. So I think this was my introduction to urban fiction, kind of, but not really. I had read some other books, but this one was the hot urban fiction book at the time. Super popular. And if you have read The Coldest Winter Ever, drop a purple heart in the comments. Now, there's another book that kind of goes with The Coldest Winter Ever. If you've read this book, then I need you to drop a blue heart. Now, I didn't just buy this book, I just pulled it off the shelf because of Coldest Winter Ever and the book that I'm going to show after this one. What do you guys think the book is? And let me know in the comments if you knew what it was. It is Fly Girl. This is my 30-year-old copy of Fly Girl. And I'm happy that it's in this condition, even though it's in horrible condition. But after so many years, I'm just happy that I can find it, to tell you the truth. But yeah, and I took my copy of Fly Girl off the shelf because I wanted to know if you've read Lady Boss. Lady Boss is part two to Fly Girl. This is Tracy as an adult. I think I read Fly Girl again, but I read it, I don't know, it was still a very, very long time ago. I have not tried to read this recently, but it definitely does not hit the same. I could tell you that off the top. And then I just have two more books. And I remember being at home and having my daughter's little cousins and some of her little friends come by. And I would, I had a bookshelf in my living room, much like I do today. And they would come over, and the bookshelf was on the side of the TV. So if you're watching the TV, and the bookshelf was like right next to it. So they would come over and visit, and when they would leave, I'd notice that my books were leaning to the side instead of standing up, which meant there were books missing. And they would take these books, and I remember calling one of her cousins and asking her, "Do you have my book?" And she was like, "Yeah." And I said, "You know what? You better bring my book back. Not only you better bring my book back, but if your mom catch you with that book, you better tell her you stole it from my house. You tell her you stole it. Don't say I took it. Say you stole it, because that's what you did." Anyways, it's Zane Afterburn. Yeah, I wanted this because I have some of the other books, and I like to have, certain books, they bring back old memories. I remember what I was doing when I bought Addicted. I remember how I got skyscrapers. I used to go to ECC, and if you're from LA, you would probably know what ECC is. And I had a friend who was there. She wanted to borrow my math book. Now, if you know, you know, those math books are like, I think I paid like $165 or something like that for this math book. And I was like, no, that's not happening. So she was like, I'll let you borrow my skyscrapers if you let me borrow your math book, and I will give it back because I want my book back. So I was like, let me think about it. After a couple of days, I went ahead and let her borrow it. I had already used it, so it wasn't like I was going to take the math class again. But those books are super expensive. I could have sold that book back to the bookstore for maybe a good $60. Anyway, I let her borrow it, and guess what? I still have skyscrapers. She never returned it. I also have sensuality. So yeah, I like books. I like books. Not only do I like to read them, I like to buy them. I like to um have them. I I like to keep them, and I am possibly a book hoarder at this point. I hope you enjoyed the video. So, if and you actually did, if you wouldn't mind leaving your kind girl a like, and if you just want to come back for more Black Book Talk, then go ahead and subscribe. Hope you enjoyed the video, and until next time, see you soon.